Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Echo. In the first part of this gameplay, we got a bunch of friends who met up after quite a long time away. So, now that they've met up, we're going to have a break, and then we're going to go out on an adventure. So, maybe we're having a dream or something. Let's get into this. There's a chain attached to my ankle as I walk away from the lake, my legs and feet caked in mud. I look back, seeing a chain snaking back around the rocks and reeds before disappearing into the water. Looking ahead again, I see Leo. He's smiling, waving at me. I walk toward him, and the chain stays slack, pulling easily out of the water. There's an anchor in the lake, I say. I stare at him, but he doesn't say anything and just keeps on smiling. I crouch on the rocks, wrapping the chain around my wrist a few times. Leo kneels next to me, rubbing my back and sticking out his arm to compare our bracelets, saying that everybody gets one. He seems happy, but now I'm stuck here. I can't even stand up to walk. That was odd. That was very strange. But it is a new day, and it is Sunday, so we've only done Saturday so far. So, new day. Yeah, new adventures. Peyton is about a bit of a distance away. To get there, you have to get on Route 93, which Flynn tells me isn't even called that anymore. That would make sense, considering how it was impossible to find on the GPS. Anyway, to get to the city, you have to merge from the remnants of 93 onto Interstate 40, which runs straight through the city of Peyton. About 15 minutes from Peyton, we pull over at a rest stop, which sits at the higher elevation than Echo. If you're looking in the right direction, it gives you a great view of the town. I stand outside the old rundown restroom, a pot over my eyes as I stare out over the desert. A distant hazy view of a group of small buildings huddled together signals where the town is. From this vicarious distance, it looks small and harmless, hard to imagine all of the things that happen there. Okay, how do I use this thing? I look over to see Leo fumbling with the camera, obviously worried that he was going to break it. I walk over and show him how to use it, checking the white balance and exposure myself. I wasn't too good with cameras, but the equipment manager at the university had given me a quick lesson on how to do things. Okay, so I want you to zoom out from Echo slowly, and while you do that, I'm going to walk into frame, okay? Yeah, okay. Leo hoists the camera up and looks through the viewfinder, ears perked up and smiling. Okay, signal me when you're ready. I adjust the clip-on mic while Leo focuses the camera, then raises his paw, signaling that I should start. I walk into the frame, keeping one paw in my pocket and the other to gesture. I hope I don't look too awkward, I always feel like I do. Echo first began as a settlement in 1852 after James Hendricks discovered gold in a quartz deposit. The town grew quickly in size, and once it began to serve as a junction along Prescott Railway, it reached a peak population of 6,500 in 1877. It was at that point in time that a peculiar phenomenon of mass hysteria took over. Many say the reason this occurred was due to the discovery of a body within the gold mine and the circumstances surrounding that discovery. While not much is known about this event, what is known is that once it ended, a large portion of the population left Echo. Most of those who left settled in the nearby town of Peyton. However, the town still managed to prosper well enough until the 40s. That's when the government stepped in to shut down the mine, as it became a federal law to divert all mining resources to the war effort. The town's population sharply declined shortly thereafter, and by the 50s it had dwindled to approximately 2,000 people. A shutdown of the Prescott Railway in the 1960s, followed by the bypassing of Route 93 by Interstate 40 in 1986, was the final nail in the coffin for the town. By the 90s, the population had dwindled to just 150 people. My goal, however, is to investigate the first event which led to this town's decline and possible demise. What happened in that mine almost 150 years ago? I've come to Echo to try and find out what information, if any, can be gleaned from the events of the past. I wait for a few seconds and look at Leo. Is that good? Yeah, I don't know how to stop it though. Here. I walk over to take the heavy camera off Leo's paws. That was pretty good. Do you want to be a reporter? Maybe. I'd just rather write than be on camera though. Yo, Chase? Oh, Leo and I look up toward the car, greeted by the sight of a bright white ram's ass hanging out of the back window of Leo's van. I don't really react. I mean, despite being self-conscious about his weight, Carl was pretty shameless about stuff like this. I've probably seen his naked butt more often than I'd seen Leo's, and that was saying something. Make sure you can get a shot of my... Hey! At that moment, Flynn, who's sitting next to Carl in the back, reaches around and yanks the ram's pants down so that they hang around his knees. Even though Cole's pretty quick to pull him back, I still get a pretty good view of his equally white balls dangling between his legs. Leo snores, and I can see Flynn laughing his ass off while Cole punches him in the shoulder. Unfortunately for TJ, who was sitting in the middle row with Jenna, he was looking back at the time and probably got a much better view than I did. Now he's facing forward, covering his face, while Jenna sits next to him, reading a book, looking uninterested. Nearly 21, and he's still doing that, huh? Yeah, it's a little more awkward without you three around though. We head back to the car, and I grab the camera bag from the passenger seat to put the camera away. Hey, did you see my butt? I saw more than that, dude. Your thing's about the horrors of Echo, right? It'll be a perfect fit. Well, if you could even fit it into the camera. I stashed the camera bag in the footwell before hopping in. Wow, Southwest Adventures is an amusement park right in the middle of Payton. It's decent enough that people come not just from Payton, but cities up to 100 miles away to vacation here. Because of this, it's usually crowded, and today's no exception. Families and their kids are everywhere. It's a generally nice day, sunny in the 80s, and it being a Sunday added to the crowd. I didn't mind though. The point of this is just to hang out with my friends. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starving. Let's get some funnel cakes. Jesus, Cole, we just got here. Hey, I didn't have breakfast. You had breakfast, alright? A blunt with a side of the munchies. It's no problem. You can do that while I plan out what we're doing. Carl ambles off on his way back to the funnel cake stand. Alright, go get some food. I snagged one of the park maps from the entrance and I hand it to Leo. Okay, so usually when my family comes here, we go clockwise to hit all the rides. Sounds like a plan. It's pretty crowded today, so we probably won't be able to do everything, but in this order, we'll at least be able to ride Event Horizon. Are you sure? The line for that is always so long. TJ's looking up toward a tall, spiraling, electric red steel roller coaster. It's definitely the most recognisable landmark in the park. You could see it from almost anywhere in Payton. Yeah, fastest and tallest roller coaster in the West. I think it's going to be worth it. Oh. TJ rubs his arm with one paw, the corner of his muzzle twitching a little bit. I'd forgotten about that. He used to have a pretty pronounced motor tic when the corner of his mouth would twitch up over and over again. It used to be a constant thing, but it stopped once we entered middle school. I guess it hadn't completely gone away. You okay, TJ? We could skip the big rides if you... Oh, hell, TJ, you're a fucking adult now. No, it's fine. I'm fine. I just haven't been on a roller coaster in a while. TJ snaps his head back toward us. He's all tensed up, and the movement looks like a rubber band being snapped. I'm riding all the rides with you guys. TJ walks off, his paws shoved deep into his pockets. I feel bad for him, and I want to give in an out somehow, but that's when Cole comes back with his funnel cake. It's topped with ice cream, powdered sugar, and strawberries. Wow. Anybody want to share? Yeah, that looks real good. No, okay. Well, I guess I'll have to eat the whole thing. Great. Now we gotta wait for the fat ass here to finish eating. Cole pulls his face out of his cake. Even with his white fur, I can see the powdered sugar clinging to his chin. Nah, I can eat in the line. We're going on Event Horizon first. The wait's gonna be an hour long at least. Okay, we're going to queue up for this thing. The line ends up being 2 hours long, and by the time we get to the actual ride, I'm dying to get into a pool of any kind. To put it bluntly, an otter needs water. Part of the problem of living in Echo meant that we didn't have any kind of indoor pool system in our house, being as cheap as it was. We ended up having to get an outdoor swimming pool, which was a pain. Nervous, Chase? I smirk. I've ridden it before. Though your tail's kinda down. Are you sure you're not nervous? What? Come on, Leo, let's ride at the front. Oh, I don't know. I watch as Jenna pulls Leo toward the line for the front, which is twice as long as all the others. Off they go. I opt for the middle, and it just so happens that TJ comes with me. His tufted ears have been poking straight up the entire time, muzzle giving an occasional twitch. I lean over to him. You know, there's an exit over there for people who change their mind. I'll bet you could slip out without anybody knowing. Looks like not all of us are going to be riding the same train. TJ stares straight ahead, clutching onto the railing. I can see his sharp claws unsheathed, pressing into the metal and chipping away some of the red paint. No, I'm fine. Are you sure? Yeah, perfectly fine. Damn. Well, we're in the middle, which is the best place to be if you don't like roller coasters. Yeah. I really wanted to be able to get TJ to skip the ride, but it seems like he's pretty determined to do it for some reason. Finally, our train comes along, and I step in as two laughing and panting hyenas step out. Oh my god, that was the most intense. Holy shit, dude, I know. I never get scared on rides, and I almost fucking pissed myself. I do a quick check of the seat to make sure there isn't any actual piss before sitting down. I look up and see TJ standing on the edge of the platform, his eyes wide, one foot stuck out to get on. TJ, a bored-looking teenage fox comes by to check my lap bar, and I stick out my paw. Hey, wait, TJ, are you getting on? The fox goes from looking bored to mildly annoyed. If you're getting on, you need to get on now. We can't hold up the entire ride for you, sir. The exit's that way, where other adventures await. People around us are starting to notice. Unfortunately, Flynn, who's lined up with Cole toward the back, is paying very close attention, grinning like he knew this was going to happen. Oh, TJ, you too scared? Guess you're a pussy after all. Shut up, Flynn. Hey, TJ, when it gets real bad, just say to yourself, at least I'm not gonna die. Actually, a few people have. TJ. I yell up at him, and it seems to jar TJ out of his trance. He almost falls into the car as he stumbles into it, fumbling with his shoulder restraints before the fox attendant sighs and leads down to do it for him. I can see the red on the insides of TJ's ears as he blushes, and I feel my own ears burn a little from second-hand embarrassment. Man, this guy is not down for it. Now that it's too late, I realise that we shouldn't have started with this ride. We should have started with something smaller to build up his confidence. I'm jolted back as the train moves forward. Oh gosh. TJ's paw lashes out and latches onto my arm. Oh no, why am I doing this? I reach over to try and move his paw from my arm and back onto the handle on his shoulder restraints. TJ, hold on to that. My arm, you're gonna... Chase, quiet. I pause, staring at the links. I'm really not used to hearing TJ yell. He's almost puffed out, twice his size. I just need some quiet right now, and our train begins its ascent up the first hill, and I can feel TJ's claws pricking through my fur and into my skin. He starts mumbling quietly to himself, his eyes are closed. TJ, are you praying? He doesn't say anything, and soon we've reached the apex of the climb. I give up on trying to move his paw and sit back, a little nervous myself. I really hope TJ doesn't completely lose it. I rinsed the blood off my arm in a dirty theme park bathroom. It wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been, although TJ did start crying when we hit the first inversion. He had scratched the shit out of my forearm, grabbing it with both paws once we started the descent. Unfortunately, Flynn and Cole were still on the platform when we rolled back into the boarding station. Flynn looked ready to lay into TJ again, but when he saw the tears, he had the decency to hold back. I helped the shaking Lynx out of the car, and somehow we managed to stumble into the bathroom, where he quickly hid in the stall. I should have forced him out of the exit. He'd always had anxiety problems, though I think we all believed it was a childhood thing that he'd gotten over. I don't know if he still takes his medication. Hey, TJ? Yeah? We should probably get back. Leo texted me that they're all waiting by the ride. Yeah, I'll be out in a second. The cheerfulness in his voice is forced. I ignore the weird looks that I'm getting from the other people in the bathroom and instead inspect my arm. The scratches are pretty superficial, so the bleeding had stopped. No one would notice it under the thick fur, even if it's tender as hell. I hear the stall door open behind me, and through the mirror I see TJ come out. He sees me look in over my arm, and his face crumples up again. Chase, I'm sorry. Is it bad? I really don't want him to start crying again. TJ cried a lot when he was a kid, almost every day, and even at 19, it seems like he's still pretty susceptible. It's fine. Doesn't even hurt. Oh, that's good. We stand there awkwardly for a few seconds, and then I air out my shirt, which was starting to stick to my sweaty body. Listen, it's honestly getting way too hot for me to wait in lines all day. I think I'd rather just sit down and watch some shows or something. Oh yeah? Yeah, you want to do that with me? TJ's ears come up a little, and he clutches his paws together, the fidgeting subsiding a bit. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I can tell at least he's a little bit relieved. Oh man, that was a rough ride. We both head back out toward the ride, and I spot the four of them waiting by the exit. I furrow my brow as I spot Cole crouched on the ground, Jenna kneeling next to him and rubbing his back. Hey, everything okay here? Jenna looks up, a sympathetic smile on her face. Cole's not feeling too good. You want to sit on a bench or something? If I move, I'm gonna... That's what you get for stuffing your face right before the ride. You think they sell ginger pills here, or ginger ale at least? A joint would be nice. There are some vendors over there. I'll go check. I'm actually kind of glad everyone's preoccupied with Carl right now. It takes some of the heat off of TJ. Okay, so we just arrived at this place and already 2 out of the 6 people are suffering. Let's move you to a bench. It will be better if you're sitting down. Slowly, Jenna and Leo lift Carl up, and now I can see from his face that he really is ill. To the average person, our little outing might already seem like a disaster, but this is perfectly typical for us. Okay, fair enough, I stand corrected. Nothing ever went according to plan. We sit Cole down on a bench and he bends over, his face in his hands as he moans softly. Oh man. TJ comes back with a medium-sized cup in his paws and he sits next to Cole. No ginger ale, but they did have lime soda. Cole takes it and sips a bit of it before sitting back and belching. Ah, fuck it, I'm done, guys. What? What are you gonna do all day? Just sit here? Actually, me and Chase are gonna go see some shows. You can come with. Oh man. Guys, we were doing this to hang out with each other, remember? I'll leave him. We're wasting time. Flynn turns and walks off, his hands shoved in his pockets, hunched like a stone gargoyle. He definitely looked the part, being the lizard. Damn, that was probably a bit speciesist. Well, we've all got our problems. Text us, okay? Sure. Jenna turns and follows Flynn, but Leo hesitates a moment. He looks at me before eventually turning to follow Flynn and Jenna. 5 minutes later, Carl's stomach settles to the point where he's able to get up and walk. At this point, I'm completely wiped out and I just want to sit down. I'll point out the first stage we see and they agree. I sigh gratefully and I sit down. You look tired as shit, dude. I crack an eye open to see Carl giving me a sidelong glance. I don't sleep very well in motel beds. I actually woke up at around 2. You were gone. Now TJ's looking at me too, and I feel my gut clench for a second. Yeah, I tried to go for a walk down the street. I hope that it would help me get tired. Well, if it happens again, you can just walk over to my house. I'm up until like 3 every night. Wow, why? Cole shrugs, leaning back and sticking his boobs up against the chair in front of him, earning him a dirty glance from its occupier. Games mostly, sometimes I read. Cole rubs his chin, opening his muzzle, closing it and opening it again. You know, it would be pretty cool if you spent the night one of these days. Their house can be creepy as hell when you're the only one in it. You're alone? Yeah, parents are vacationing in the regal paradise, having a bloody good time, they tell me. Cole tries to put on an accent, but doesn't do a very good job of it. Oh, did you want to go with? Cole blows a raspberry, laughing. Not really. Mum told me right away that weed isn't legal there either, so I took that as them not wanting me to come along. Oh. They did say that the chocolate there is real, whatever that means, and they bring me some. I guess I'm not enough of a fat ass yet. Come on, Cole. But dude, I'm getting there soon. All I'll have to do is stand in front of the mirror, block out my face, and jerk it to my moves. Wow, I make a dumb snorting croaking sound, and I can feel TJ looking at the two of us disapprovingly. It's not the hardest thing to do when you're high. Wait, you've actually done that? Cole shrugs, smirks at me. I reach out and grab his chest. From what I can tell, there's a pretty firm set of pecs under there. Cole puts the mocked horrified look on his face. Sexual assault? He touched my breasts? Oh, whatever, Cole. They're harder than mine. So, now we're teenage girls in the locker room comparing rags. Hey, you're the one that brought up tears. You know, yeah, I can see it, yeah. You're the hot preppy one that everyone likes. I'm the big fat chick you're all nice to, but cool Big Thunder Mountain behind our back, and TJ hadn't been paying attention, distracted with watching some dancers come on stage. He looked innocently at us. What? You're the cute, naive Christian chick that only takes it up the butt so as to stay a virgin? What? Let me feel your boobies, man. I want to compare. What in the world? Oh no! Small but perky. After a few seconds of tussling and Cole getting smacked on the nose by TJ, somebody shushes us from behind and we're forced into silence. The show starts off with a bunch of mice having a weird sort of hoedown. TJ's really into it and actually starts to clap along. I smile. TJ could definitely be kinda cute sometimes. Cole just rubs his nose and leans back, watching with a smirk, as if the whole thing is a joke to him. At this point, my eyelids were feeling really heavy. At most, I'd gotten maybe 4 hours of sleep last night. I think about leaning my head back, but the backs of the seats were pretty low, and I just end up with my head hanging over the back. Leaning forwards would be just impossible. I could lean on one of my friends. I don't think they'd mind. Okay, so, we're tired. We want to sleep. If TJ's enjoying the show and he's kind of like animated, and Cole's just kicking back. I don't think Cole would mind. We'll go with Cole. Alright, Cole is definitely the better choice. Bigger and probably softer. He'd make a nice pillow. That's harsh, man. Cole, I'm gonna use you as my bed. What? I put my head on his shoulder and close my eyes, feeling the soft, puffy, sleeveless hoodie and his bulk under my cheek. Weirdly enough, he was pretty damn sturdy. I'd expected him to feel like a pillow puff. Damn, Chase, are you that tired? Yeah. Well, okay then. I feel him shift, and suddenly he's putting an arm across the back of the bench, giving me more support. The gesture makes me feel a little warm. I can feel TJ's eyes on us, but I ignore him, enjoying the position of intimacy. The sounds of the clapping and fiddles start to drift away as the lack of sleep takes its toll. Okay, we're gonna take a nap, yes. I feel along the rough edges of rock and dirt. The only thing I can hear is the shower of debris I'm knocking to the ground. The air is stale, and I have the vague feeling that I'm suffocating. I keep going. I'm going to reach the end eventually. I just have to keep moving. I can tell I'm going down, deeper and deeper. The space around me is growing smaller and smaller, and soon I'm hunching so that my head doesn't scrape the ceiling. I can hear footsteps, not quite in synchrony with my own. They aren't any kind of footsteps that I've ever heard before. I stop and I listen. There's definitely the sound of feet, but not like they're walking. It's like they're stamping down on the ground, making as much noise as possible. This is accompanied by a slapping sound, as if someone is smacking their paws on the ground as well. I imagine a canine toddler, still insisting on walking on all fours or throwing a tantrum. It's heavier though, like an adult is doing it. That image makes the nape of my neck prickle, but I'm not scared. It's not long after I've stopped that the noise stops as well. Just 10 feet behind me, I turn, watching the darkness. I knew you'd come back. They always do. My voice sounds clogged, muted, like the rocky walls are just sucking up the sound instead of bouncing them down the tunnel. The stamping starts up again, loudly, coming toward me at full speed. Now, I can hear sobbing, sniffling, and a strange guttural grunting. It's just feet away. You're only moving in circles. It veers away just as the words leave my mouth, going back the way it came. I stand there a while, listening until I can't hear it anymore. I turn and continue on, feeling the walls again as I make my way lower and lower. The smell hits me right as my paws hit it, slick and slippery. Blood coats the walls my paws run along like thick oil. It's warm and fresh, and now I know I'm getting close. A voice abruptly echoes down the tunnel. It's not far away at all. I knew you'd come back. They always do. I make my way closer and closer, and now fear pricks my heart. They always do. I hear muffled screams now, as if someone is yelling with their mouth closed. Now the fur is standing up all over my body, but my feet won't stop. I keep going. I'm getting closer and closer. You're only moving in circles. I'm here. It's right in front of me, and now I'm reaching out to it, reaching out to touch it. I can't stop. I can't. Wow. I jump, my head jerks up, my eyes snap open, looking around wildly. It's like I just came up from being underwater for too long. Shit. Whoa, whoa. TJ and Cole both jump shortly after I do. I look back and forth and they stare wide-eyed back at me. It takes me a second to realise that I'm still at Southwest Adventures at the stage and watching shows. Jesus fuck dude, you alright? Cole. I lean forward and rub my face in my paws, trying to stop shaking. I'm fine, I've just had a bad dream. I feel a small paw on my back as TJ rubs it. What about? I'm not really sure. Just a dark place and some things were in there. Wow, that does sound creepy. What kinds of things? I think. The weird crawling thing? The screaming thing? I pull my head up, looking toward the stage, which is empty right now. It doesn't matter, it was just a dream. Hey, what happened with the show? Cole chuckles next to me, leaning back again. You missed him, dude. We've seen like 3 shows. Yeah, they even had a segment with otters doing water tricks. We thought about waking you up for it, but you were in a really deep sleep. That's too bad. Always loved seeing my people laughed at for the swimming clowns that we are. How long's it been? Cole checks his phone, which he already has out. About 3 hours. Could probably get some lunch now. Damn, I've been out for a while. I'm surprised I hadn't at least woken up a few times, considering the uncomfortable position I've been in. I guess you feel a bit better then? Yeah, been feeling better for the past 2 hours. Now I'm hungry. It's already 2 PM, and I've composed myself for the most part, so I take out my phone to text Leo. Alright, let's contact him. Kinda hungry. We should meet back up. He gets back to me pretty quick. Alright, what's going on? Okay, mostly done with the rides anyway. Meet at the food court. Sweet. We meet Flynn at the table at the food court, where he's already bought some pizza. Carl immediately sits down and pries open the box, taking out a few slices. Oh, of course. Did you guys have fun? It was okay. We watched a few shows about our state species' history. Chase took a nap. Flynn eyes TJ, who doesn't say anything as he sits to take out his own slice of pizza, a bit more daintily than Carl had. You feeling better, TJ? Yeah, I'm fine. TJ nibbles on his slice of cheese pizza. Yeah, well, the pizza here is a hell of a lot scarier than any of the rides, so you're braver than I am. That's probably the nicest thing he said to this guy. Okay, so, where are Leo and Jenna? Flynn rolls his eyes and nods toward the row of carnival games to the right of the court. You're fighting. They've been playing those games for a fucking half hour already. I'm not surprised. I grab my own slice of pizza in the napkin and make my way over there. Keeping with the theme of the Old West, the carnival section of the park is decked out with fake saloons and brothels. I spot them pretty quick. Leo's holding a pink unicorn and Jenna's carrying a green dragon. They seem to be in pretty good spirits, though Leo's grin is a little tight. Looks like a pretty successful haul, you guys. Hey, Chase. Jenna's grinning, looking a little smug as well. You guys finished? We're eating now. Leo shifts the giant unicorn around. Yeah, we're pretty much done, I think. Damn, Leo. You must have won something pretty hard to get that. Yeah, that was me. I look over at the green dragon Jenna's holding. But what about that? Yeah, I won this too. Oh, I'm sure you've won a couple? Actually, yeah, I've beaten him at every single game. Well, you're visiting. I want your memories of the vacation to be good. Obviously, it's getting to your head though. Oh, please. Chase, you should have seen his face, sour grapes the whole time. Really? Wow. I would usually stay out of stuff like this. Leo always got a little carried away when it came to competition, especially when I was around, but it was kind of funny seeing him act like this. Let's just go eat. Wait, there's a high striker. Why don't we show Chase who's stronger, right? Leo contemplates that for a second, but seems pretty confident about this one. He's literally almost twice the size of Jenna. I don't know if that's very fair to you, Jenna, He lets that sit, and honestly, I've got to agree. Jenna, though, gets a little fox gleam in her eyes that I knew meant she thought she knew something we didn't. Afraid I'm gonna woo your eggs. Wow, Jenna's going all out here. My muzzle flushes under the fur, and that only seems to decide things for Leo. A confident smile replaces the sheepish one from before. Oh yeah? He flexes his shoulders and sticks out the stuffed unicorn to me. I stuff the last of my crust into my mouth and reach out to take it. Jenna does the same, and now I'm hugging two massive stuffed animals to my sides, tripling my girth. Okay, let's do it. Step right up, test your strength, $3, 3 tries, ring the bell, win a prize. Alright, let's do it. I'd like to try, please. Alright, we got a taker. Big strong wolf like you would have no problem at all, $3. Leo hands over the money, and the carny hands him a mallet. Leo points it at me with a grin. This one's for you, Chula. My heart skips a beat, he hasn't called me that in a while. But I decide to play along. Don't disappoint me, Leo, I really want that stuffed griffin. I point to the griffin on the carny's long shelf of toys. Sure. Leo spreads his legs and squares his shoulders before raising the hammer and bringing it down hard onto the rubber-looking pad. It's a pretty hard hit, but the chaser only raises up to the 40 mark. Wow, almost, Sir Wolf. Try again. Leo's brow furrows, and now I'm not so sure that this was a good idea. He raises the mallet again and grunts as he brings it down even harder, causing the contraption to shake a little. This time the chaser shoots up to the 70 mark. Even better, this time put you back into it. I can hear Leo growling a little as he raises the mallet a final time and brings it down with a snarl. All of his muscles in the arms are standing out. I'm pretty sure I felt the ground shake this time, as the impact causes more than a few heads to turn. This time, the chaser only goes up to the 60 mark. Leo gapes at the game. So close, $3 more will get you 3 more tries. Would you like to try again? Nope, it's my turn. Jenna already has her money ready and hands it to the carny. Oh ho, a little battle between the sexes, is it? Well, step right up, my little fair fox maiden. How will you face against the big bad wolf? Leo reluctantly hands the mallet to Jenna. Okay, beat 70. Jenna points the mallet at me, winking. Don't worry, Chase, I'll get the griffin for you. Leo snorts loudly, folding his arms and looking pretty annoyed. Good luck, I was hitting that thing as... Before he can finish, Jenna raises the mallet into the air and puts it into a graceful swing. It's as if she were chopping wood as she brings it down hard onto the rubber pad. It lands precisely and cleanly, in sharp contrast with Leo's sloppy hits. I stare, Leo stares, and the carny stares. Jenna simply raises her paws into the air. Yeah, got it! A few onlookers around us laugh and cheer. Oh my, the fair fox has won! Come over and pick a prize. He glances at Leo. Sorry, buddy. The carny shoots a sympathetic, but also amused smile Leo's way before turning to the onlookers. See that? A female fox, half the size of this male wolf, has rung the bell. Could one of you be next? Leo looks mortified, but quickly changes his expression to a sheepish grin. He doesn't seem to want to look at me. Good job, Jenna. Jenna bounced back to us, carrying the big stuffed griffin. Give those ones to Leo, so I can give you this. I hand off the stuffed toys to Leo, who grumbles a bit as he takes them. Damn thing's rigged. Jenna hands me the griffin. Thanks, Jenna. That was really, She leans over and pecks me on the cheek. I see Leo's eyes widen up as she does it, his ears standing straight up. It was nothing. Leo stands there for a few more seconds, working his jaw. Awesome. He turns away and leaves, his arms still wrapped around the giant stuffed toys. Jenna starts laughing. Jenna? Oh gosh, you'll get over it. He's just so damn fun to tease. I have to agree, but not when I'm being used to do the teasing. He's still really sensitive about the whole thing. You guys talked it over, didn't you? Anyway, aren't you gay? I'll take a deep breath. Gay? Bye. A deep breath means... There's been a bit of hesitation. We'll go with bye here. Not really. What? I mean, yeah, obviously I like Leo, but I've liked girls too. Oh, interesting. I sigh and rub my eyes with a paw, still a little tired. Hey, don't tell Leo that I work at the state fair every year. Wasn't planning on it. Yeah, she knows the tricks. The rest of the day's pretty relaxing. We ride a few of the more mellow rides. Leo seems to cheer up when I volunteered to sit next to him on the Ferris wheel. TJ even built up his courage to the point where he rode the swinging ship. Flynn and Cole rode the slingshot ride together, and with the video feed from the ground, I think it's the first time I've ever seen Flynn scared. Cole did end up barfing after that one. By about 6 PM, everyone's tired enough that we agreed to head back. I'm still exhausted, so I sleep for the half an hour it takes to get back to the motel. When we do get back, I notice how good the sun looks right now. With a sigh, I remind myself that I'm here to actually get a project done, not just to play around. So as everyone sits in the motel, I let them know I'm about to shoot some B-roll, gathering up my equipment and heading out into the heat. Dragging it outside, I set it up, sweating even under the evening light. Even this late in the day, the heat was pissing me off. For some reason, it's a lot cooler in Pueblo. My mind drifts back to the many days of summer under the blazing sun, the temperature rarely dipping below 100. I'm amazed poor TJ never had a heat stroke. When I put my eye to the viewfinder, I'm a bit disappointed at how broken down the town looks, even with the amazing backdrop. What a dump, I'll say. It's then I hear footsteps and talking from behind me. I pause my recording and turn around. How's the filming going? It's okay. I kinda ran out of sun, but it's okay. Echo looks like crap, no matter what kind of light you shoot it in. Do you need us to keep quiet? Nah, I'm just shooting B-roll. Was about to come back in. Let's stay out here for a minute. Cole and Flynn are getting a bit loud. Besides, I want to talk to you two. He wraps an arm around Jenna and reaches out the other one to pull me in so that we're both flanking him. I feel my shoulder presses into the warm bulk of his side and chest. He's always been taller than me, my eyes barely come up to his chin, but now it seems like he was almost twice as wide. He definitely put on more muscle since I last saw him. While he was always pretty muscular, he'd been more on the lean side, but now his chest and biceps pulled his shirt tight. It felt nice, though like something very sturdy wrapped in velvet. I suppose it was a mixture of adding on both muscle and fat. I'm at least happy to see that he's gotten over his little defeat to Jenna. Look at us, the OG crew. Leo's strong voice vibrates from his body into mine. The effect is tranquilizing, and I feel myself relax. Together again. The only thing I miss about this town. Leo's referring to the fact that he, Jenna and I were the original 3 of our group of 6 to become friends. Later we would add TJ and then Cole, and finally Flynn and Sydney. Who's Sydney? Leo had been the one to unite us all. I remember when you first got here, everyone was afraid of you. I remember when I first got here, I found a bunch of gringos who wouldn't even talk to each other. We all went to the same schools in Paynton and had had our different friends there. When Leo moved in, he thought it was strange that the kids in Echo didn't hang out together. As I entered middle school and high school, I cycled through a ton of different friends, but the ones in Echo always stayed the same. Remember when we'd always have sleepovers at Chase's place? Of course, I'd kick your ass at Claws of Fury all the time. I remember, I used to think you guys were only friends with me for my video games. Many times I've fallen asleep to the flickering of an old CRT television set, watching the outlines of Jenna and Leo twist side by side as they played. I would wake up hours later only to find them still playing. It was weird. Jenna and Leo get along really well, but there is a bit of a competitive streak between the two. Actually, it's one of the few things that gets Leo genuinely angry. I think he even broke one of my controllers once. How long has it been since we first met? Well, when did you move in? Oh, 2000? So, take 2015 and subtract 2000. What does that leave you with? So the game is set in 2015. Leo looks sideways at me and smirks. There's a flash of white canine as it appears from under his lip for a moment. You think yourself a real hotshot now that you're in college, do ya? I smirk back, though I know my canines aren't as impressive. Pretty much, yeah. Well, you'll always be those little brats to me. I feel Leo's wagging tail swat me in the butt. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Speaking of which, are you two getting along over there? Jenna looks at me, around Leo's broad chest. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, we haven't really had many chances to hang out. What? Why not? Well, it's college. It's also a pretty large university. I don't even think we've seen each other in passing. Yeah, things are different, but Jenna, we should do something together soon, before you graduate. Definitely. Leo still looks a little disappointed that me and Jenna aren't keeping up at the university, but I don't know why. She had her friends, I had mine, and we did talk sometimes. Jenna nudges into Leo, causing us all to sway. And speaking of that, when are you going back to Mesa? Mesa's the community college in Paynton. Leo went there for a few semesters before taking a break. And by break, I mean he quit. We'll see. I'll have to talk to my parents. It's just starting to get really busy here. Why don't they hire more people? You know, you would have graduated by now. You would have had your masters by now. Leo sighs. It's about committing to the family business, not the help he needs. Jenna rolls her eyes, blowing out some air and ruffling the tuft of fur on her head. Wolves and their families. You should try thinking and speaking for yourself sometime. If I hadn't done that, I'd still be stuck in that crank house. Jenna flicks her head vaguely in the direction of where she used to live. Jenna is the only one, aside from Cole, who has family still living in Echo. I wonder if she's going to visit them, even though I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to that. I see Leo tighten his arm around her shoulder, but she goes on without missing a beat. And you can start with our otter here. I look up, caught unawares. What now? Me? Jenna? I'm serious. Jenna puts her paw up in Leo's face, cutting him off. I'm not going to spend the entire week with you asking me when or how you should do it. Let's rip off the band-aid now. Chase, Jenna. There's a warning tone in Leo's voice as he pins back his ears and drops his arms from our shoulders. I already know what's happening. It's been a long time coming. I take a step back and fold my arms, looking to the side. Chase, Leo has some things to say to you, and yes, it is about that. Now, I'm going to go head back in and make sure that Cole didn't light up in the bathroom. Jenna. His tone changes to exasperation as Jenna turns on her heels and leaves. Judging by the curl in her tail, I can tell that she's pretty satisfied with what she's just done. I return my attention to the road. I couldn't really bring myself to look at him right now. We both stand there for a minute, 3 feet apart. I hear Leo scuff the ground with his foot, and then sniff as dust rises up from the ground. I hear him drawing a breath a few times, as if he's going to say something, but ends up blowing it out with a sigh. We were never good at this, probably why it ended up failing like it did. Leo. I'm sorry, Chase. For what? Not talking to you about this when I should have. Talking to Jenna about it when I should have been talking to you. He reaches out and sets a paw on my shoulder, the silver anchor on his wrist glinting just a bit in the fading lights. He's smiling at me, but I grip my teeth. Why are you still wearing that? His eyes flick from the bracelet then back to my face, expression turning defensive. Why aren't you still wearing yours? Don't you remember what we said? I sigh, looking at the scattering of clouds behind Leo's head. They're tinged a soft pink from the fading sun. The sunset is almost the same colour as Leo's fur. Leo, we were teenagers. That's not an answer. He cuts me off and I look back at him. I told you they weren't love bracelets. They weren't just about our relationship, they were about everything. Our friends, family, memories. Echo. I raise my voice above his, cutting him off this time. They were about Echo, Leo. We stand there a while, and Leo's looking closely at me, expectantly, his ears tipped forward. His eyes pierce me like amber shards. It was always hard to look him in the eye during our arguments. What? Do I have to say it? Okay, fine. I fucking hate this place, everything about it. It's the most miserable goddamn place I've ever been. How many places have you been? Enough to know that it's miserable. Most everyone here is old, obese, on welfare. Half of them are probably on meth. Leo pulls in a deep breath and blows it over my head. I could smell the bell peppers on his breath. No one likes it here, Jace. I mean, it was an anchor. I'm half laughing. Just looking at it made me feel like I was still tied to this town. I didn't need it reminding me of all that awful stuff. I know it's supposed to symbolise our being each other's rocks or whatever, but it stands for a lot more than that. But a lot of good things did happen here too. No one should forget where they came from. Sometimes I wish I could. At this point, Leo's deflated a bit, going into a slouch, his ears lowered. Wait, you said was. You didn't get rid. No, I've still got it. It's just in a drawer in my dorm room. Honestly, if it was anything else, I'd like one of those infinity bracelets we saw. I wouldn't have trouble wearing that. Well, fuck, why didn't you say anything when we were buying them? I didn't know it was going to be a problem. Leo takes in a deep breath again before blowing it out, puffing out his cheeks this time. Puchika, otter. He puts a paw to his eyes and holds it there for a few seconds. It's a pose I'm pretty familiar with. Even though I haven't seen it in a few years, I'm hit with a wave of memories, mostly of me frustrating or embarrassing Leo somehow. We decided on the anchors mostly because they look pretty. Leo had referenced some wolf metaphor about roots and how we're always drawn back to them. Also some bullshit about how otters were great sailors, but really, it was just the aesthetic. For some reason over the years, I'd begun to associate the anchor with being stuck in Echo. It was when I started connecting the anchor to Sydney that I'd taken it off. It was too much. Anyway, Leo brings me back to the present and I focus back on him. Well, I was trying to say that I'm still not okay with how you left. Leo, I said I was sorry, and I still am. Or how you stopped talking with me for a while. Okay, I was a kid. I thought I had a good tactic, like Jenna said, rip off the band-aid, you know? We did start talking again. It was more like you punching me in the guts and then kicking me in the balls. The problem was that you didn't give me a chance to say anything, or at least tell me why you broke it off. I stay silent for a while, and then I finally look up, settling my jaw. Like I said, I was young and dumb. I didn't know how to handle it. I can keep apologising, or we can move on and make the most of this. We only have 1 week, and I want to have fun. Leo looks to the side, paws on hips, as if contemplating, and then looks back at me with a smile. Okay, fine, but I think you're off the hook. I still want to talk soon. Soon, just not right now. I stand there awkwardly for a few moments, then, because it feels appropriate, I step in to give him a hug. He takes it willingly, and he's warm and strong. For a moment, I wonder why the hell I dumped this guy. Just then, someone lays on the horn as they drive past us, putting me out of my reverie. Oh damn. I lean back so I can watch the car speed down the empty road. Leo keeps holding me though, and he just chuckles. Wow, Echo hasn't changed much, has it? No, it hasn't. As we're saying our goodbyes, I remind Leo about the shots on either lake. He says he'll talk to the other two about it after they leave. We all say our goodbyes before Leo, Cole and Flynn take off. TJ takes his usual hour getting ready for bed while Jenna does some schoolwork. By the time I finish brushing my teeth, I'm grateful to see them both in bed. I get under the covers next to TJ and lay there for about an hour, staring at the ceiling. Slowly, I slide out from under the covers, careful not to wake TJ. Quietly, I slip on my jeans and grab my jacket before heading out of the door. Okay, that is a lot that has happened, and I think this is a good place to break it off. So we had a couple of creepy, spooky dreams that we don't know anything about. We had a trip to the Funfair, which mixed results. And we had a bit of a heart-to-heart with Leo, who is apparently our ex. So we're going to find out what happens in the next episode. This is Ushio signing off, and hopefully I'll see you next time.